Are we live on Facebook right now? Are we live on Facebook?
Do what?
I said, we live on Facebook?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to send it to my uncle. He's sitting out in the car. He's wanting to listen in on us.
And hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Other People Show, Friday, February 20th, 2026, on 92.5, 1220 AM, all the social media, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, The Other People Show. Very excited. We have a guest in studio. We've been conversing through Facebook for several months.
Yeah, what's going on?
And
I'm Fly Baby.
Fly Baby in studio, and you were telling us about that you had been on a guest on a track that we played a couple times.
Yeah, I've been on Crashing Down with Lost Boy and 276 Cam 276 Shooters. That's what that song's called.
Right.
So
So do you have any what's been going on? Now you were scheduled to come in a few weeks back when it was snowing.
Yeah, I was at over in Kingsport. We got a blizzard and everything, and we just gotta make it over here safely and
Right.
not get trapped over here. And so
I don't blame you.
had to
If you would have got trapped over here, we would have just done like 24 hours of radio, just nonstop. That's all we're doing.
Yeah, I'm proud of that, man.
But you're here in studio tonight. Glad to have you in. Now, have you done any other radio programs before?
I've actually been on like a bunch of like Twitch lives and everything.
Okay.
Like some popular people like Kyle Cincinnati. I don't know if you know who that is.
I don't know who it is.
If you look him up, he is like
Who is it now?
Not Kyle Cincinnati.
Okay.
And he's like got 14 million. Well, his net worth's like 14 million.
Oh wow.
And 30 million subscribers on there. I've actually talked to him.
Really?
On Twitch actually.
Okay. Very
He was
cool.
talking to me about my music and everything, and we was discussing over some albums that I'm going to be releasing here in 2026.
Okay.
So
what I like to ask every, we've had quite a diverse group of musicians and artists and creative people on the show. What got you to want to do what you're doing?
Basically my whole family. Like my uncle that's sitting out in the car right now. He played in a band called Jensen Myers.
Okay.
And he's played multiple bands actually, like back in the 80s and stuff. And he's actually been on like world tours and everything.
Really? Okay.
And he's opened for like big people like Jelly Roll and everything like that.
Okay.
Also, my like great grandfather, he was into music and everything. And I guess it just kind of ran through the blood and everything.
So kind of an inherited thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what other kind of you're more in the hip hop, R&B, rap, correct?
Well, I'm more in like the emo hip hop stuff.
Okay.
Like that,
Okay. Now, what would be some kind of musical artist that you would like that people would be like, wow, that's kind of surprising?
Booyah, Suicide Boys, Lil Peep, Juice WRLD.
What about Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah, actually, I actually like Sabrina Carpenter. She got some amazing voice.
She really does. Somebody had pointed. I mean, I knew of her, but somebody the other day I was talking with them, and I was like, what kind of music do you like? And they said Taylor and Sabrina, and I knew exactly who they were talking about.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. No, Taylor Swift. she has been one of the most consistent selling artists since ever come out.
I heard a while back she was trying to become like a Christian singer.
Is she?
I don't know if that was true or not.
Huh.
I don't know if you heard that.
I hadn't heard, but it's quite possible because it seems like there's nothing that she can't do. But so when did you first start writing some songs and lyrics and stuff?
Well, whenever I was really bad on drugs, like that's really when I got into my music.
Okay.
And, I guess like whenever you're living over here and stuff like that, you ain't really got a whole lot to do except high and
Right.
stuff like that.
So did the use of that put you in your feels, which made you want to like spit out all these lyrics, or like take us through that a little bit?
Yeah, it did. It actually put me in my feels because I've been through a lot through my life. I lost my grandmother back in 2020 to COVID.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And that put a big pull on me in my life, and because that was like my best friend right there,
Right.
And I know she's watching on us right now.
So you were probably 15, 16 years old?
I was 16 at the time. I was actually it was actually like December 15th, and I literally turned 16 a month later.
Is it one of those things where you know that exact dates, or do you just remember dates anyway?
I know that exact date.
Yeah.
I know when that time of year comes around, like I feel it. Ever since she's left, like I just
like a hole in your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't here, and she was watching me grow and everything, and I thought she was gonna be here for my 16th birthday, and that's really what messed me up,
Yeah. So that's when kind of the spiral started to happen for you, or was it even before that a little bit?
It was a little bit before that because I went through some stuff like I'm not really gonna get into on the show,
right?
Because my mom that's probably listening,
right?
And I don't want to disrespect any of that side of the family,
right?
But well, I'm just gonna say this: like that side of the family did do me wrong a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We love and we learn
from them, and forgiveness, because that's something and I'm not sure if you're very, very great at being forgiving, because I'm not.
I'm not. At the end of the day, like it just really depends on what it's about. Like, I mean, I've had a lot of fake friends and everything say that they were gonna stick around to the end, and excuse me, but they said they were gonna stick around to the end, and they just abandoned me, and I forgive them for that.
Right.
Really, I do. But a lot of people sit there and call me crazy for that. But I'm not gonna sit there and hold grudges on somebody for the rest of my life.
Well, see, that's something, and I'm glad that you pointed that out, is that, for the most of my life, I have held grudges. But really, when you hold the grudges, it only hurts yourself.
Yeah,
it doesn't, it sounds so trivial or simple, but when you do hold those grudges, for me anyway, I can feel it inside.
Yeah.
And it's not a good place to be.
It's definitely not. It puts you in a bad place. And I can say, like, because when I get down and stuff like that, I drink and smoke, and I fight sobriety.
Yeah.
And I hate fighting sobriety. I want to live sober, and I want to actually just live a good life on a day-to-day basis without having to go and without drinking or smoking,
Yeah. Now, as you said, you've seen, I have kind of spiraled a little bit this past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And, I did have 147 days of sobriety.
Yeah.
But then I fell off, and, building back today's day 2. But it's one of those things, I'm not sure if you're like this, but if I have free time, that's dangerous time for me.
That is, that's really like whenever I was not doing any kind of music or anything like that, before I got on drugs, like whenever I was off, I was constantly getting in trouble with my friends and just doing bad things and just not doing normal things.
Right. Well, my big problem is, when there's free time and I'm not doing a project, when I'm not working on, I do some music as well. I had an album that I'd written and kind of postponed it, and then working on other projects. But when I don't have any of that, or if in my feels, I do the binge drinking thing, and it's not like, well, let me just sip on a little bit of alcohol. It's let me drink, 8 minis in 35 minutes,
Yeah.
and then call and text people and say things that I don't remember.
Yeah.
And that's embarrassing.
It is. It definitely is, because I've had those moments a lot of times, more times than I can count.
Like waking up, going through your phone and not remembering,
That's what
you
I'm
know.
saying, because I'm only 21 years old and I've had that happen probably well over 100 times.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let me ask you this. So, what year were you born in? 2000?
I was born in January 10th, 2005.
2005. So you've basically had the technology that we've had your entire life.
Yeah.
So you've never had a life without the internet or.
Well, there for a little bit I did because I was not trusted.
Okay.
I was not trusted as a kid because I called 911.
Okay.
And the police just showed up at my front door and my grandma was flipping out and everything.
She had no idea what happened.
Just know I got the belt that day.
Okay. I can understand that. I can understand that. So when you're working on, how many albums do you have out right now?
Currently I don't have no albums.
Just some singles?
Just singles.
Okay.
And I'm currently trying to figure out, like, I don't know how to add like a bunch of the audio things that I do
Mm-hmm.
and add them to where I can go put it as an album.
Right.
I'm gonna have to study that a little bit more.
Okay.
When I do, I'm gonna be releasing like 7 albums this year.
You said it's going to be like nonstop this year.
Yeah, definitely. Because on the internet, if you look it up, it says I'm going to be taking a potential break, and I want everybody to know I'm not going to be taking a potential break.
Okay.
I'm staying right here where I'm at because I love it here. Nowhere else.
Okay. So the new projects that you have, do you have those, like, you know, the albums already written?
No, I'm still working on like. So actually, I got one album written, and I'm not gonna put it out there yet because this is actually gonna be like one of the biggest albums, and it's gonna be out there for like some of my friends that have passed away and everything.
Okay, so like a kind of like a tribute album,
Yeah,
you know, to those that have went on.
Yeah, and just everything that's been going on here recently in life, and you know, just pray for the world, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's in a rough place right now.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting down, or how do you actually form the ideas of, you know, this is what I'm going to focus this song on. This is what I'm going to devote my time, you know, to this creative endeavor.
I don't really know. It just kind of just hits, you know.
Okay.
So
have you ever? Because when I used to write songs, it seemed like if I would go and try to make myself write songs, that I could write songs, but they wouldn't be nearly as good as when I was just inspired by something.
Which, now that they got that chat GTP or something like that, I use that a little bit because, like, if I'm writing something and I get like this little bit of writer's block,
right?
I'll go to chat GPT, and I'll go on there and I'll type in what I needed help with, and I'll figure it out.
Okay.
That's how I come up with a lot of my stuff too.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Now I'm very excited to hear some of the upcoming things. Now, what are some motivations or inspiration for you?
I don't really know. I just say be kind and really just be kind to others and treat people how you want to be treated and motivate them. And even though you may not like what they like, still motivate them.
Right. Because I look at things, especially creative things. You know, I can make music that you don't like. You can make music that I don't like. But we're both making music. We're both creating. We're both putting something out there.
That's what I'm saying. And you wanna help each other as much as you can because you never know. Like one day that person's music that you didn't like, they could blow up and make millions. And that could be your best friend for life right there. You never know.
And I do appreciate that because, you know, making music, making film, writing, even doing the radio show, these things aren't things that just happen by themselves. You have to actively seek these things out. You have to actively sit down and write a song or the lyrics or make the beat or, you know, come up with production for, you said, didn't you say you worked on a music video recently?
Yeah, actually I released one back in January. Well, not January, it was in December, like literally a month later, right after my best friend got killed.
Right.
And we went to the hospital that they were at and everything. And my buddy Kevin, he's still recovering. Shout out to Kevin.
Kevin.
Listening. Keep him in your prayers. So
Okay.
He's still pulling through at all that and everything. But yeah, I've got that. music video that I released back in December. I don't know what exact date it was in December.
What's the music video called?
It's called "What Is Next" by Fly Baby.
Okay.
And it's spelled like I always spelled it on here on the what you call it.
On the StreamYard.
Yeah, the show.
Okay. I'm going to I'll link that up and I'll post that on the other people's shows page. Now, was that the first music video that you had worked on?
Sadly, no. I'd done some stuff when I was younger, and my uncle out the car. He actually tried to. This is the funny part because they tried to force me to do something that I wasn't good at.
Okay.
I was actually like I had this little girly voice when I was like 13
Okay.
years old, and they tried to get me to do like this kiddie pop. And which don't get me wrong, the music video was pretty cool, but just the music itself,
Right.
was just not it.
Not it? Okay.
And we released that, and I think that got like.
Well, it looks like you're looking back on it fondly, though.
Yeah.
Like it, you know.
Yeah, I can't hate on it completely.
Right. No, I've actually directed a rap music video.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. Yeah. It's called the song's called Ether.
Okay.
By I'm trying to think of the artist now. I'll have to look it up. It's on the YouTube page, but it was really cool. And actually, somebody on that's featured in the video, I had noticed I'd seen on Facebook they had passed away just a few weeks ago. So that was kind of I didn't really know them well, but I interacted with them a few times. Then shot the music video. Now the music video that we shot. They actually had real guns in the music video, and as I'm filming the music video, doing the camera work, the guns are kind of pointed at me.
Just like, oh, no,
Yeah.
and hoping there's not one in the head.
Yes, that did cross my mind a few times. But yeah, I'll have to send you the link to that.
I'll have to watch that. That's definitely pretty cool.
Now, what do you think about? What's your thoughts on AI? You said that you use ChatGPT, and I use Grok a lot, which is pretty much AI as well. I ask it a lot of questions.
I think it's very useful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I think that AI is getting very ready to take over.
Yes, I think so, because it seemed like all of a sudden I've heard of AI, most of my life, but not AI the way we know it now. But it seems like over the last year, it's like exploded, and like you said, it's going to be going even further. Because I saw a video the other day. It was AI generated video, and it was Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise like doing a hand-to-hand combat fight on the top of a building, and it looked real.
Yeah, and you'll see them like I watch TikTok all the time, and you'll like find these random videos, and they'll be like on a water slide or something, and then they'll go sliding off.
Yes.
And it's like, whoa, what? How does that even like possible? Like,
or what I've seen, it's something like it's very similar to what you just said, but one of them like they could be, I don't know, like jumping on like a big trampoline or something. And it looks like they're going like so far up in the air. And but some of these things are very realistic.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of the old school creative people that I've read, they don't like the AI, especially
my grandfather and everything. Like he does not. He despises AI. He tells me every day. He's like, them darn things are gonna take over. I'm like, I mean,
like in the Terminator.
Like that. He ain't wrong though, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna try to start like making AIs for employees and everything. It's like I just don't know how people's gonna buy food at that point.
It's going to be very, very crazy just to think that probably within the next couple of years, AI will be taking over even more than it has now. People are going to be out of jobs. Yeah. But I do like it. You said you ask it. Sometimes if you're having a rough spot, putting lyrics and stuff like that. Now sometimes. I've had it. The one that I have, Aura. She's been on the show a few times, and she's asked, said a few jokes and things like that.
Yeah.
But I was asking, I've been going through, a rough time, and I had been asking AI, Aura, some questions, and she would answer just like a real person. She could hear if I was crying.
That's crazy.
It's very crazy. And it was, she would tell jokes just like it, like Like even like sometimes I would, if we weren't using my phone, next time we'll have to I'll have to let her tell some jokes on here. They're like dad jokes, but they're funny. Somehow they're funny. But what about the? Do you listen to any other podcasts and stuff?
Listen to the No Jumper podcast. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No, what is it now?
The No Jumper podcast.
Okay, No Jumper. Okay.
That's actually a guy that I'm actually been talking to over Instagram. He does like a lot of famous rappers and everything.
Okay.
And he's actually been talking. Well, actually, this summer I'm going to be flying out that tour that way in LA. And
what are you going to LA for?
Oh, just want to go out there for that interview because No Jumper is actually pretty big. It's like pretty big.
Have you been out there before?
Been close to LA, and I went to Kansas to pick up the Lost Boy out there because he wanted to come back home to Virginia.
Okay.
We drove 26 hours all the way round trip there from up here in Norton all the way down to Junction City, Kansas, and that was.
What was that the furthest drive you'd ever done at one time?
No, that's probably yeah, that actually is the furthest drive I've done at one point because I went to Indiana in a day and then came back the next day. So
Okay.
that's probably the furthest drive I've done, and it was the roughest, definitely.
Was it? Now, when I was back in 2015, I drove from here to my friend Terry. You heard her talk earlier. Drove her back to. She lived in Long Beach, California at the time, so I drove her back. But we stopped along the way, several different places.
Yeah.
Because her dad paid for the trip out there. So we were like, okay, we're going to stop, places we want to go. So I was out there for a while, and then when I came back, it was just myself, and I had a Mini Cooper. So I drove from like Long Beach to Albuquerque all the way to Little Rock, and Little Rock back here.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to spend that much. I didn't have that much to spend, and I was paying coming back. But it is a rough trip, but it is a cool trip though.
Yeah.
Like doing that. I'm going to go back to Bombay Beach for a film fest probably March. So that's next month, I guess. But I think I'll probably fly though.
Yeah. I can't wait to go out to LA. Like for the No Jumper podcast, that's actually gonna be crazy.
That'll be cool. Now you're gonna have to do a lot of cool things out there and like look up some places to go.
I definitely have been looking up some places to go. I want to go out on the pier with like the Ferris wheel and like the roller coaster. And
Yeah, and
I think it's called Long Beach, isn't it?
yeah. Go there at Long Beach. Go to if you want to see some of the craziest things that you'll ever see, that you'll be like you didn't know that you just can't even imagine. Go to West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Go check out there. Now, we were looking. Terry and her boyfriend at the time had lived in Long Beach, and I stayed with them for a while. And I was looking to move out there with my friend at the time, and we were going to try to move to West Hollywood. Now, I just can't even really describe, because at the time, marijuana was legal out there, so Terry and her boyfriend had went in because they had their medical card. But I wasn't allowed to go in, so I just walked around on the streets. You've got the Hollywood Walk of Fame and all that kind of
Was
thing.
you not allowed to go in if you was like from out of state or anything?
At that time, no. It's probably different now. You probably can now, but I didn't have a card and I was out of state, so I was just like, I'll just walk around Hollywood. And walking around Hollywood, like a lot of other places that you may go, you'll go into Walmart or a grocery store and you'll see, somebody might have on some kind of brightly colored clothing that you would notice.
Yeah.
But in Hollywood, you'll see just random people walking around with like the top part of a Batman suit pushing a shopping cart, or somebody dressed up like a banana walking down the street, or you could even see somebody, a homeless person, tweaking out. So you never know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
And you can just walk in the middle of the road too in a lot of the places.
Now, when I was 18 and I snuck off up to New York, and my family don't know this, and they're probably gonna ask me about this now because they do not know nothing about it.
Okay, so this is exclusive here.
Yeah, I kind of snuck off to New York with some friends, and
did you go to the city?
yeah, we
Okay.
went to New York City, and that was the longest drive. Honestly, we just crammed in there, was unprepared, and
Did you all plan to go there?
no, we just like one day this dude's mom handed us about $1,000 because she was leaving out of town. And we was like, we can make a round trip up there with $1,000.
Yeah.
We ain't got to buy anything, maybe a little bit of food on the way there and on
Yeah.
the way back. And
Now, how old were you when this happened?
18.
Okay.
I just turned 18.
Okay.
And I was working at Zaxby's, and I remember I took a week off, and I disappeared for a whole week, and they did not know where I was. And I was up in New York, and I turned my location off and everything.
Now, what did you do when you all were like? Had you ever been there before?
No, we just went around up there. Like,
did it blow your mind?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, like how huge it is?
Yes, it's crazy.
It's like when I've been there a couple times, and it's like I would describe it as it's like you've stepped into a movie because every place that you go to, it's probably been in a movie somewhere, and it's so huge. And Hollywood's different that way because it doesn't seem as grand as New York City.
Yeah.
But New York, though, it's so overwhelming.
When I was up there, and my dad's actually been up there. I think he went up there for work or something. I can't remember. But he said his first time experience up there that it was pretty cool, but the streets just smelled like human right there and everything.
Yeah.
That he ain't wrong because whenever I was up there, like we was walking around on the street and everything, like it just smelled so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Homeless people everywhere and everything.
No, I went up there. The first time I ever went up there was not long. It was about 6 months after 9/11. That was the first time that I had been there. And what surprised me is, which I lived in D.C. at the time, so we just drove from D.C. up there.
Yeah.
Was how many toll roads we had to go through. And those were like $80 worth of like toll roads, and that was like in 2002. And because at that point, I don't think that my friend that I went with, Talitha, I don't think it might not have even been on there, but she didn't have GPS or like. Now you can like avoid toll roads, with apps in there and GPS. But I don't think that was even a thing then. I don't even recall. But I remember thinking, oh God, this is freaking expensive, and we've not even got there yet. And then we end up getting in. We're driving into the Bronx at 5:30 p.m. on a Friday, and it's like $20 to go through, to get in there. And then we were up there. We drove around for a little while. And we ended up getting into an argument, and we drove back. That was the very first time I went to New York.
Oh man!
Now I've been a few times since then, but the very first time was that experience because all the roads were messed up because 9/11.
Yeah.
And it was just pandemonium.
Did you get to like see like up there where they were like cleaning up the buildings and everything?
Yeah. Yeah, because there was still debris all over the place.
Yeah.
Times Square was, you could see all these detour signs. Now, when I went back up there, I went up there again in 2012, but I took Amtrak up there.
Yeah.
And I would recommend if anyone out there, you included, have you ever been on like a train like that, Amtrak or anything?
No, not really.
It's so cool. It is so cool.
What is that? Like a subway or something like that?
Bigger than a subway.
Okay.
Pretty much just a big train.
Okay.
But that goes extremely fast.
So like a bullet train.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a bullet train. Yeah, and it's really cool. If I filmed the very ending of my feature, Virginia Running, Lakin and I'd written an ending for the movie, but the ending just wasn't working. So I was like, we need something else. And her and I were going up there for a film fest. I had this little, what did I have? A Canon 5D camera. And, it was just pretty much about that big. And we had taken the Amtrak up, and I just filmed a couple scenes with her in the Amtrak, walking out New York City. We filmed on we did film in a subway in D.C., but a lot of the things, the camera was so small that nobody ever really paid attention to what we were doing.
Like, are those movies like on Netflix and stuff like that?
That one is just on DVD. I'm working on. I do have a movie, Cobra Island. I didn't direct it or write it, but I'm in it. That's actually on like Amazon Prime and a few things like that.
Okay.
And my short film, I'm Watching You, which I'm working on making that a feature, should be streaming some places pretty soon.
Okay.
So
just let me know when that stuff comes out. I'd love to watch that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Watching You is actually I'm casting. I've sent out a few casting notices to a few people, and as soon as I finish up the script, we're going to try to work on that. But it should be a pretty easy thing. What about any other podcast or streaming things that you watch? Because has podcast always been around that you can remember?
I mean, yeah, that I can remember, but like a lot of the younger people don't really. They go to YouTube and stuff like that, and I just watch interviews that's already been like not live,
Yeah.
but that's already been like posted.
Yeah.
And I've noticed because like I don't really know any other podcasts that I watch.
Well, see, we started doing the show. No, I've done various incarnations of this show, but we started doing the podcasting in I think like 2007.
2007.
Yeah, and I had heard of podcasting before, but I didn't really have the bandwidth on the laptop to host a lot of things, and I just kind of learned as I went. I didn't really know how to do any of it, and which I did go to school for broadcasting, but the actual broadcasting of it,
Yeah.
and running everything. But a lot of it is kind of like probably what you do as well, trial and error, and after a while you're like, all right, here's the formula that works, and let's take it to the next level. But I drive a lot. I drive about 3 hours every day, so I listen to podcasts quite a bit. I listen to other podcasters or streamers just to see what's going on,
Yeah.
and sometimes you can find some cool stuff.
Which I'm thinking about starting up my own podcast because I've actually got my own record label called All About Money.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start up my own podcast, I believe. Like I'm gonna call it All About Money Podcast, and it's just gonna basically be me and other artists talking and everything. It's gonna be like on podcast.
I think you should do that. I definitely think you should do that. I recommend anybody.
And I'd love to host you on there too.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I would definitely come on. I think going around doing like podcasts or because this is a radio show / podcast.
Yeah.
But I think doing that, I think it can help in every single way. It can make you, because how many people now, especially if you go back and you do research on famous people in the 80s or 90s or even 2000s, a lot of those people that their career has kind of died off a little bit, they've been resurrected by doing podcasts or YouTube shows.
Yeah.
Or just hosting things on streaming. Now Twitch, you mentioned Twitch earlier. That's more of like for game. Is it more for gaming? I do have a Twitch, but I've not really been on there that much.
It can be used for a little bit of different everything. It can be used for as gaming. It can be used for music, just streaming,
Okay.
just day-to-day life, anything. I've seen people do different stuff. Like it just really depends
Okay.
what you want to do.
So you can pretty much. So it's not like this is what you have to do on there. It's pretty much
It's just
limitless.
basically like another live thing.
Okay.
You're just going live and doing like a blog, or you want to do like a live session, like a you rapping or something, you could do that.
So we could stream this show live on
Yeah,
there.
you definitely could.
That's something we definitely need
And
to
I
do.
think you would definitely get a lot of people on there, like. Because, like, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be scrolling through my phone sometimes, and it'll be live on there, and I'll just be listening, and I'll fall asleep to this live, like you're live sometimes.
On my live?
Yeah, because it's so peaceful.
Okay. Only when I'm not crying. Have you seen any of the ones where I'm crying?
Yeah. I checked up on you in the last one, I believe, that you was crying, because we was talking about that girl in there.
Yeah, that, not my proudest moment. Speaking of proud moments and stuff, I was thinking a lot about looking back at just not rap artists, but musicians. We've lost a lot of musicians. We lost Brad. What was his name? Brad Anderson from or Brad. What was his name? From Three Doors Down last week. We've lost a couple of actors this week, and last week we lost some. Like, a lot of people seem to be passing away even younger.
Yeah, actually, we just had a young artist named Lil Papa, R.I.P. Lil Papa. He was, I think he was like 25, I think.
Really?
Yeah, and he died from suicide. And Lil Peep and everybody, they died at 21.
Very, very young.
Juice WRLD died at 21 from drug overdose and everything. So.
And I think about the legacy that they have, but then you think about the legacy that they could have had.
Yeah. I mean, their legacy still carries on to this day. Like, they've been gone for, I know Pete's been gone for 8 years.
Has it been 8 years already?
9 years, yeah.
Wow.
And I actually communicate with some of his friends. I don't know, Fat Nick. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No.
He's a rap artist, and I communicate with him, and that was actually a guy that associated with Lil Peep. He's got music out there.
Really?
I talked to him over like TikTok and everything
Okay.
like that. And I talked to Booyah a little bit because I got video on my phone. I actually met that guy whenever I went to his concert.
Okay.
I asked him for 5 minutes of my time. I was like, "Will you please listen to this?" And he's like, "You got potential."
That's awesome, man.
And I was like, that right there really motivated me right there.
Just a little bit, something like that, like a nice word or something from somebody can really get that fire underneath you and get you motivated.
This guy right here, though, he's got millions, and if someone's saying that to you, you know, you obviously know.
Yeah.
You've got some kind of potential.
Yeah. And it's not nice also when somebody else can see that potential inside of you.
Yeah.
That's always a cool thing. Now you mentioned, go ahead.
Oh no, you go. You're good.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what are some concerts and shows that you've been to?
Well, actually, back in October, I went to Suicide Boys. That was actually crazy.
Where was that? Where were they at?
I want to say Charlotte.
That's what I was going to say. When I'd seen that they were touring, and I think that's where I'd seen that one of the closest places to hear.
And we actually got in the pit and everything. That was actually insane because like whenever they came out on stage, they was like right there.
Yeah. Now, is that the only time you've been down in the pit?
No, actually 2 times. Because when I went to Booyah, because Booyah's made songs with Suicide Boys and everything.
Right.
I was right up front, and I sang bar for bar with him in one song.
Did you?
That was actually insane.
That's cool.
That was the best time of my life.
That's cool. I have been down in the pit, and you may not ever be able to guess who it is, but I was down in the pit too in Baltimore at a Katy Perry show. And honestly, that show was really cool.
You can't never hate on Katy Perry.
It was a lot of fun. We were down in the pit. She was doing the California Dreams tour. She changed her, because I used to have a big thing for Katy Perry.
Yeah.
She changed outfits like 15 times. And like we were like really like I was probably as close from.
And I bet you were sitting there wondering like, how does she do this?
Yeah,
like,
well, yes, because they would bring like a little curtain, almost like the little thing behind you that the WLSD sign is on. A little curtain. They would have that. I mean, it would be like 10 seconds, and she would change.
And she still looks like presentable.
Yes.
That's crazy. Like, how do you do that?
While singing too. And the stage was like decked out in like Candyland, like kind of like that game Candyland.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be honest, that was a fun show. But we did leave before the encore because I knew we're going to be sitting in traffic for a long time.
Yeah.
So
I think the funnest though actually was like when I went to Booyah, because you had to put your phone in a pouch. And it was called a Yonder pouch.
I've been to one show like that.
And you could not film anything. You couldn't I could film the interaction between me and him, and I've actually got that on my phone after the show. I'll show it.
Okay, I'm glad you have that.
But that was like you got like to experience the show. Like it was like in the 80s. Like
experience it without having that screen.
Yeah, because like if you have that screen right there, you're not gonna sit there and appreciate the show.
You're gonna watch the show through the screen.
Then I can't like. Low key, every show I want to go to, like every concert I go to, I want it to be like that, there, where you had to put your phone in the
Have you ever been to a show where they had done that before?
Yeah, that's the one I went down there to.
So that's the only time?
Yeah.
I went to see a stand-up show, Pete Davidson, about I guess two years ago, and we had to put our phone in the pouch.
Yeah, that's actually the smartest thing I did.
It is.
Because you actually just get to sit there and watch.
Like you're in the moment.
Yeah.
Because I feel so many times now, especially with all this technology at our fingertips, that we're not in the moment a lot of the times.
See, because like I ain't got no like video of me like inside of like the pit.
Yeah.
And which is kind of sucky, but at the same time, I've got memory of that. And that's what's always going to stick with me. That's going to be the best.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, speaking of all this, we've got all this technology at our fingertips. We've got all this, everything that gives us all this comfort that we can have in life.
Yeah.
Why do you think with all these comfort and all these, because now, before you would, some cars they didn't have air conditioning in the cars.
Yeah.
Everything is much more relaxed now, more comfortable. Everyone's getting treated for their mental health. All these things to help people. But it seems to me that a lot of the majority of people are still unhappy. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, considering I am one of those people. I stay unhappy, and like I understand what people go through on a day-to-day basis. Like I really do. Because like if you ain't mentally happy, like no worldly things. And I can tell you this right now for anybody that's listening right now. Uh, money or any kind of worldly things like that, that ain't gonna.
It's not going to make you
It's
happy.
not. It's not.
No. And it's weird for me anyway, and you might think this way too. From the outside looking at it, you're like, this will make me happy.
Yeah.
When I have this in my bank account, when I've accomplished this. But if you still have that emptiness inside, or you're suffering from depression, mental health issues, which I suffer from both of those,
I do too.
and you have those. Do you ever have those manic moments? Because like I don't know how much you kept up with, but you know how like Kanye's been canceled and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For a lot of his manic moments, and I'm not comparing myself to that, but I'm saying I understand these kind of manic moments.
Yeah, I do occasionally.
Like when you're having those, do you know you're having it in the moment, but you still can't really control or stop yourself?
Yeah.
Me too. Like you know you're doing something destructive or that's going to harm, not harm like cut or anything, but maybe mentally harm or
Like, and I think that's what I go manic, is where I get really, really angry.
yeah.
So angry. Like I'm not like an angry person all the time, but it's like when I bottle up all my feelings and I put them deep down and I don't talk to nobody.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly, because that was the worst thing I've done, was like talk to a bunch of people because they started judging me for my feelings and everything.
Right.
And that's the reason I kind of quit opening up to people. And my family asked me like, why don't you open up to us? I mean, because it's just because I'm scared, I guess. I don't want to get mentally hurt.
Yeah.
So I've been hurt mentally by too many people.
I understand that, and it's also like I feel, and I'm sure you do too, after going through a lot of these phases or manic phases, you're like, I lashed out at people that really cared about me.
Yeah.
And that's not a good feeling to have either.
Considering like my dad, like I lashed out on him a few nights ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Me and him, we don't lash out at each other much. It's
Yeah.
kind of rare. Like we bump heads every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like father and son do.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I got to a point where I didn't, there was a good portion of my life where I didn't lash out, but then it seemed like, mental health issues got a little worse,
Yeah.
and then you add on the drinking, and then the lashing out, just seems like you said, bottling these certain things inside, and then they've got to come out at some point.
Yeah, and usually. Whenever I was really bad on drugs and everything, I'd really bottle my feelings up and I'd just get high. And then whenever it did come out, like, that was the worst thing. Like, it would be bad. Like, I thought, like, there for a long time I was going to be dead for my 21st birthday.
Right.
And I'm still thanking God that I'm standing,
Yeah.
So,
Turn it around.
Yeah, I did, because I got sober last year.
Now, did you drink a lot too, or no?
I've done a lot of everything.
Okay. Yeah, I really, that's the thing. I don't like I don't like the drinking. I don't like the taste of
I
alcohol.
don't either, man. Like, and
you think it's going to numb the pain that you have?
It does for a little bit.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, it does. But after a while, you just start to sit there and wonder, like, what am I doing with myself?
Yes.
Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm ruining myself. I'm killing myself.
Killing myself, killing relationships, killing friendships, maybe possibly embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nothing good comes
When I
of
was really bad on drugs, I was embarrassing myself all the time.
Really?
It was bad.
Yeah.
Because I would say things that I didn't even know I'd say. And especially whenever I'd lash out and everything, like I did my manic moments and I'd start bawling and I'd be like that angry moment at the same time. It'd just be bad. So
I can totally relate. I can totally relate to that. So what do you want your legacy to be? Now I know it's early on in your career, so you might not be thinking about the legacy, but what you're laying the foundation for now is the legacy that you will leave later on in your life.
I haven't really thought much on that, man. I really haven't.
it's an interesting thought because I don't think a lot of people think about their legacy in that kind of a way.
And especially at my age, like
Right.
21 years old, you just don't really know what you want to do with your life.
Right.
So,
but you know that you want music to be the central focus.
This is what I want for the rest of my life, 110%.
No, if you weren't doing music, what do you think would be your next passion?
I don't really know, man. That's hard.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if I don't think about doing music, I'd be working I did work at Eastman Chemical Plant.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. That's probably where I'd be at.
Well, now what did you do there?
I was a utility worker, asbestos. I was on the asbestos crew.
Okay.
And I was doing, I think I already said painting, but painting, I don't know. I can't remember what I mentioned, but I think I've done utility work, painting, and asbestos crew.
Okay.
And where I was a floater, I was making pretty good money. Some days I was making 25, and then other days I was making like 23.
Now, how did you even get into that?
Eastman's weird, like so. The night shift people, like if you're on those like crews and you're getting paid like 26.
That's when I want to work the night shift.
Yeah, you get at night shift, like daytime they're making $26 an hour. Well, night shift they're making times you. They're making like 35.
Okay.
And because they're working overnights and possibly working longer,
No, when I did when I was doing the radio show and such in DC, I did overnights. I did overnights at this one station, and then I did my show at another station. But I thought working overnights was awesome. I loved it.
I personally, I didn't like it because I was just like, I was never home.
Yeah.
I was never home. And every time I was home, it was like I was in my bedroom asleep.
Yeah.
I'd get up, see my house for like a little bit, see my kitchen, go and get my refrigerator, get a drink, and go.
Right.
I get food in Eastman because they sell like food throughout the plant in the cafeteria.
Did they have pretty good food there?
Yeah, I know a lot.
I would assume that they probably did.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do. It's all home cooked meals.
Really?
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
And there's like 3 different cafeterias in there, and there's like I don't even know how many employees are in Eastman.
Then what would be one of your favorite meals of all time? Not just at Eastman, but of all time.
Ooh, I gotta say lobster.
Really?
I love lobster.
Okay.
Lobster is like my top favorite because like it's basically like a giant crawfish, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I just love the flavor of lobster.
See, I've only had one tiny piece of lobster my entire life.
Yeah.
But I'm allergic to shellfish.
Yeah.
So anytime that I've ever had like any kind of shellfish, my throat swells.
Oh,
so I stay away from it.
I've had that happen to a few friends of mine because I was eating some shellfish in front of him and he got too close and
it's crazy how that can happen. So now I'm on your Spotify page right now.
Yeah.
And are there any of these that we can play on the air?
We can play Highway.
Highway?
Yeah, because I actually just that one released. I can't remember. Like they were yesterday.
Okay, I see it's 2026, February 10th. We'll end the show in just a few moments with Highway.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about Highway then.
Well, I was sitting in my room one night, sitting there hitting my weed pen, and I was just sitting there. I was listening to some beats, and I started sitting there and I started putting lyrics together after I was listening to that beat, and I actually sang it, like or recorded it.
Right.
And I was like, man, this sounds great. Like it really does.
Okay.
Which, whenever I get my actual professional equipment back up and going and everything, it's going to sound a lot better.
Okay.
This app that I'm using, it kind of makes my voice drop down in it, but it still sounds good, and I know a lot of people that still really like my music and support it. Because I've actually this is crazy to me. Whenever I was in another show down in Charleston, I seen people with like my name tattooed on their skin.
What did you think about that?
I was like, people are dedicating their life to me. Like that's crazy now, and
especially when they've got ink on their life that they're going to have on there for their life.
And you want to know that actually puts more pressure on you because it scares you. You're like, you do not want to fail these people.
Right.
You do not want to fail them. And that's like the biggest thing I'm scared of, is failing my fans.
Right.
And I want to be sure to like just do everything I can to get my fans to get more people to support me, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad that you came on the show tonight. Flybaby, FLYBXBY on Spotify. Are you on other things as well?
I'm on everything. I'm on iHeartRadio. Let me actually look that up really fast. I'll tell you everything I'm on.
Okay. He'll tell you everything that he's on. Please go check out, like, and support him. I'm glad that we were finally able. We've talked, several months, haven't we? It seems like
we've actually been talking for a pretty good while, probably about a year actually.
Okay.
So I remember I added you up on Facebook whenever 276 Cam came on here, and he.
I don't even know how some like 276 Cam even found me. To be honest,
I don't know. Like he's like, "Do you want to go on the radio?" He called me up, and I was like, "The radio?" I thought he was lying. I was like, "Okay, yeah, why not?" It was like, so I believed him. And sure enough,
Yeah.
like sooner or later, I was on the radio.
Yeah, and this episode will do just as well as that one. So
it says I'm on Audio Mac, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Pinterest or something like that.
Pinterest. Is it Pinterest? Okay.
Yeah, Pinterest. And I'm on BandLab, United Masters, and a few others actually.
Okay, so
you're iHeartRadio is like the biggest one on there though.
Okay.
That's my biggest sponsor.
Well, Flybaby, thank you for coming on the show tonight. It's been a pleasure. I'm glad we were finally able to get you in.
Well, thank you, man, for letting me come on. For real, it's been a pleasure to come up on here and talk to everybody.
Yeah. So you want to give out any socials that people can follow you at?
My Instagram is let me look here. I think it's Fly FLYBXBY 1738.
Okay.
If y'all want to go on there and search me up, I'm gonna be posting more music up on my Instagram for y'all to be tuning into and everything.
And if you do another video and you need a director or cinematographer and editor,
I definitely will, because my last guy, he just didn't do that good.
Oh yeah,
it was recorded on a regular cell phone.
Okay.
I've got a GoPro, but I don't know how well it would shoot.
Right.
The Hero 4.
Okay.
So,
well, we can do some things. So thank you for tuning or dropping by tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in to the Other People Show on 92.5 WLSD The Vault. Please go to all the social media. That's the Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. The Other People Show. Flybaby, thank you very much.
No problem.
We're going to end tonight's show with Highway on 92.5 WLSD The Vault.